Thank you, Chairman. You just said, I want to leave the EU, Prime Minister. Well, why don't you get on with it and bring in the commencement order for a start? I mean, that wouldn't be a bad way to begin. But why do you claim that you carried out the referendum vote in leaving the EU and our manifesto when the withdrawal agreement legally requires United Kingdom citizens, businesses and workers to obey laws made by majority vote of the other 27 member states, going on for years without our involvement, gives the UK courts the right to override United Kingdom Acts of Parliament, undermines the constitutional status of Northern Ireland, and thereby undermines our national interest? Why do you repeatedly and again today say that what you're doing in the withdrawal agreement is in our national interest? It most obviously is not.
Well, you said at the beginning of your question that I'd said, as I just have, that I want us to leave the European Union, and you thought I should get on with it. I've been trying to get on with it. I voted 3 times now for the withdrawal agreement that will enable us to ratify that such that we can leave the European Union. Well, this is, and I repeat that had the first meaningful vote gone through, then we could have got the legislation through and be out already. But I do not accept the description that you have given of the position that the United Kingdom will be in on the basis of the withdrawal agreement and the proposed future relationship that we'll negotiate in phase 2 with the European Union. I could go through the specific issues if you like, but it is not the case. It is very clear that it is not the case that we are going to see the continued remit of the European Court of Justice here in the United Kingdom.
Well, Prime Minister, when I called on you to resign the other day in the House, you said that the withdrawal agreement was a good deal for the United Kingdom. But how can it be so when it deliberately undermines the repeal of the European Communities Act 1972? And I mentioned already there's no commencement order. This shackles us to all EU... Just a minute, if I may, please. This shackles us to all EU treaties and laws. Your 108 promises not to extend the time have been overridden by what many regard as an unlawful statutory instrument, which is now before the Joint Committee on Statutory Instruments. You gave instructions to Conservative MPs to defeat my amendment in the Cooper-Letwin bill, which would have stopped our taking part in the European elections. So we passed the European Union Withdrawal Act, and you know perfectly well, and we agree about this, if nothing else, that I put an enormous amount of time and effort, as we all did, in getting that Withdrawal Act through on the 26th of June 2018. So that would have taken us out of the EU, not this withdrawal agreement. And furthermore, why have you gone back on the repeal of the 1972 Act?
First of all, I would hope that we would also now agree on both wanting to leave the European Union and wanting to ensure that we can bring that...
In the proper way.
Well, and wanting to ensure that we can bring that about. We've had the exchange about the 1972 Act on the floor of the House. It is, of course, the European withdrawal, the Act that has already been passed does repeal the that 1972 Act and does that at the point of it. But what we have negotiated within the withdrawal agreement is that implementation period, or transition period as it's referred to in the documentation, for a period of time up to the end of December 2020. And during that period of time, yes, we will be continuing to operate very much as we do today. We wouldn't be a member, but we would be continuing to operate as we do today, and it would be necessary to reintroduce certain elements.
We won't be there, Prime Minister. We will have laws passed upon us by 27 other member states without our involvement, taken behind closed doors without even a transcript. That is not anything less than castrating the United Kingdom Parliament.
That is, first of all, it is, if you look at the timetables that are taking place in relation to directives from the European Union, actually, I think with your experience in the European Scrutiny Committee, I'm sure you know that it isn't the case that you suddenly get a lot of laws passed by the European Union within the period of what would effectively be 12 months.
Accelerated procedures, pylons.
But secondly, what we're talking about is the implementation period, We are not talking about the future relationship with the European Union. We're talking about a transition period that enables people to be able to have a smooth and orderly exit at the point at which we leave, that gives businesses an absolute certainty about the basis on which they will be operating at that point in time, and gives them the time to prepare for the future relationship that would obviously be negotiated during that period of time.
Don't agree.